I want to go through a couple of things for LastPass based on some questions that have come up. First off, there is a shortcut in utilities that was added in that says My LastPass Vault. What that does is that takes you to the desktop version. It's actually the web version, but it takes you to a website for LastPass, which it's a little odd because what we typically would be using is called the extension. The extension is an extension onto Google Chrome. There's things that I found on each of them that sometimes have difficulties working. I know that there's some issues with resetting your master password if you're using the web version as opposed to the extension version. Again, it's a little bit odd because extension and web are both on the web. But let's go through a couple of things just to see how everything is supposed to be working. One of the things I do want to make sure that's clear is that LastPass isn't intended to be the way that you have to access any of your programs. So while you can get into the vault and launch programs, that's not necessarily the intent. So you should be able to get into all your programs as you normally would. It's just that they will be able to, when they're web-based programs, they will be able to use LastPass to fill in the username and password. So one of the things I want to go to Chrome. And when we talk about LastPass extension, what that is that is an extension for Google Chrome. And extensions are found in this little puzzle piece right here. If you don't see the little puzzle piece, you may need to go to the three dots, go down to extensions, manage extensions. And if you don't see it, it's probably because no extensions are turned on. I currently have LastPass turned off, so I'm going to turn that on. So now it is part of the extensions when I go here and look at it. Previously, that would not have been there. What you should do is you should pin that so that that extension always shows up here. So now when I'm in Google Chrome, you'll see the LastPass icon. When it's black, that means we're not logged in. So what we're going to do here is go to it and log in. Okay, so when you're on, again, the extension version, this is what will pop up. You can get to your vault by going here, and you can see that it's the extension version. If you look in the URL, it says LastPass free password, and you can see it says Chrome extension. If I open up another tab, I can also go to the web version, and you can see that it basically looks the same, but there are some slight differences. So one of the issues that I am currently running into is if I'm in the extension and I go to the sharing center, I get an error. It says that my session has expired and I need to log in. So when I'm going through the extension, I have that issue. So one thing that I'll say to try is if you have an issue with anything in one of them, try the other one. If you have an issue with the extension, try going into the web version. I would say always start off with the extension, because if I go to the web version and go to Share Center, it allows me to open that up. So that's something that I'm currently working on, but just keep that in mind for yourself. As I said, the intention isn't necessarily that you're going to use this to access things. You can launch from here, but you don't necessarily have to. One thing that I recommend doing is, so if we go to a website, hopefully this website will work. There. All right, so nothing's come up here right now. You typically would go, if nothing shows up, you would go up to the extension and just hit reload, and it should come in here. Now, since I have some of these things shared with me, I can scroll down and pick one that I want, and then I could log in. What I recommend you do is when you're in any website, especially if you go get into Vantage Point, make sure that it's set up the way I'm going to tell you to set it up. Right click up here, and when you go to this can read change data site, always make sure you have when you click the extension selected. If it's on all sites, then this little red icon starts popping up all over the place. And I can show you that. So right now, I have this set. You see that I start having these things in, and when I enter, if I start to enter this project at some point, if I put something in one of these areas, LastPass is going to ask me if I want to save that. It gets to be a little annoying. So my recommendation is that you have this set. For the most part, I would have it set when you click on the extension. Um, Once you do that, you may have to exit and enter a given program, but then that part will go away, and it's a little bit easier to deal with. You can add passwords, obviously, from jumping into a new login. It should prompt you to whether or not you want to save this new password and new login. So that's fairly simple. But the biggest thing I wanted to show is the difference between the extension and the web version, and then also this feature right here that you likely want to have it set so that it's when you click the extension.